Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Menswear Style Podcast. I'm your host, Pete Brooker, and today on the show, I'm talking to one of the co-founders of Blake Mill, Ken Price, and a little bit of information about Blake Mill, taking inspiration from the world around us and bringing to life stories with bright, bold, and beautiful prints. Blake Mill makes shirts to suit every personality. From Japanese flowers to the map of the world, you can dress the part from head to toe in a selection of wearable art that will transform the way you feel. Founded by three friends, Steve French, Ross French, and Ken Price, with a passion to disrupt the men's fashion industry by making high-quality dress shirts for people who want to express their individuality through clothes. And here, in his own words, to talk about Blake Mill is one of the co-founders, Ken Price.
So I'm Ken Price, co-founder and CEO of Blake Mill. We're a men's fashion brand in essence. What really differentiates us is our design, our original designs, and that's something we put a lot of effort into. Steve and I both come from finance, technology, and data backgrounds, but we have a lot of interests in things ranging from music and literature to history and science. And it was those passions and interests that started to result in creation of some of these designs, which ended up onto men's shirts and started to create quite a lot of interest originally in the retail community and ultimately through to our customers directly. So we're really all about original design and creating those original designs and creating an environment for generating those designs, which we can talk about in a little bit.
Sure. Well, how old is the brand now then, Ken? When did you start this up?
The company started up quite a while ago, but we really set ourselves up as a direct-to-consumer business in middle of 2018. So we've been going for the better part of 4 years.
Right.
And just before COVID and now just after it. So we had a little bit of a struggle as everybody did in those 2 years, but things are just starting to grow really fast at the moment.
And I think I have to talk about the designs of the shirts because I think these are the main key elements really of when people can look at these shirts. And if anyone's on our YouTube channel, then I'm just going through a couple of slides now. I mean, these are some of the more, I want to say prestige shirts, the more outgoing, flamboyant shirts. But you also do have some shirts that are a little bit more dialed back, where, say, the pattern would be on the inside of the collar or on the inside of the cuff. But perhaps just touch upon these ones that are a little bit more outgoing and the design elements, please.
Well, we try to cater to the bold and brave as well as to the more subtle and cool vibes. And as you say, we're noted a lot for the vibrant colors and the bold designs that you're showing here. A lot of these designs start out really from internet searches on things that are inspiring to us as individuals. So my business partner, Steve, lived in Japan for a while. So some of our shirts are Japanese inspired, from Sakura Tree to Cherry Blossom Festival. We've got strong interest in science, so we've got one shirt with computer code written across it. Huh. We call that shirt "Burn Baby Burn" because that is the name of the software program where we got that computer program, and we got the ones and zeros, and that computer program launched Apollo 11 to the moon.
Oh, fascinating!
So we try to put some cheeky meaning into some of our designs. Some of them are just skulls, for example, that are colored and styled in unique ways. And some of them are just really basic polka dots with a little A for anarchy stuck into them, all kinds of different things. So we try to shake it up and cater to people that want to be really out there as well as people that are trying to be a little bit more reserved. So I'm actually wearing one of our Lux jerseys, and we've got one of our designs built into the accent of the shirt here. So
nice.
That's a Marrakesh design that we've got, which is, again, it's another inspiration that we're pulling from the world around us, really.
Yeah, I love that. So it's something that's quite personal to you guys, where you're pulling the inspiration, like you said, from either places you've lived or appreciation of the arts or the sciences. But I guess a question, how would you draw the line between, if, say, for example, I love the band Queen. I guess everyone does. But then I go, right, okay, I want to put a mash together of Freddie Mercury, Brian May, and I want to have it all in like one big face. And I'll be like, well, that looks good to me. That'll be a great shirt that I would wear. But then how do you decide what is going to be commercial with that as well, with those designs?
It's a great question, Peter. And this is really the beginning of our collaborative design process. And we do a very rudimentary approach to this at the moment. And that's by emailing our list of customers all of the designs that we're considering for production. So we create a survey and we let them vote on what they like the most. Then we let them place orders for them. And if anything is, if I can use the term, a total dog, then we'll just negate that order. But we get our customers involved and our followers in the selection process. The next step, and we're, as we were discussing earlier, we're in the middle of a crowdfunding exercise at the moment to raise capital to improve the, I guess, sophistication by which we can start the collaboration process so that we can start engaging artists from all over the world, really, in creating some of these designs and then opening that design gallery up, not just to our customers, but to that same community to start contributing to tweaking and then arriving at different designs that we can start to commercialize, both physically and digitally. So the whole collaboration and community development of these designs is part of what Steve and I have done for a big chunk of our careers in fintech, and we're aiming to bring that through to the fashion.
Well, the UK is the greatest place for fintech right now, I read in the Evening Standard yesterday. Leaders of fintech.
Our previous business was a fintech business in the UK, so there you go.
You're on good ground. So just clarify for me though. So the crowdfunding campaign that's going on at the moment, is this designed for artists? Any artists that might want to come in that have an idea and go, "Hey guys, can we have a talk about putting my designs on your shirts?" Is that how it works?
Well, the crowdfunding is around raising capital to help us do a number of things. That includes expanding our product range and starting to give us the ability to sell more effectively into other geographies, because we are primarily selling into the United Kingdom at the moment. But some of that capital will go toward our community development and our technology development so that we can start to create a platform for these independent artists to come in. We currently work with independent artists, but just a few of them, and that's on a point-to-point basis. They don't actually collaborate with each other. They interact with us. So we want to create an environment that will enable artists to collaborate directly with Blake Mill, but also with our customers as well as with other artists. So create cohorts that can start to generate mashups of designs that wouldn't otherwise have come together. And that's really what we're about, is the originality and creating an environment where originality can thrive.
Fascinating. And so the campaign's going at the moment. I believe you said it might be running up until Christmas. Have I got that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're running live on Seedrs at the moment. So you can go onto the Seedrs.com platform and you can invest in Blake Mill if you choose.
And we'll put a link over on the show notes. You can also find a link, I believe, over on your site, Ken, blakemill.co.uk, as well as all the other great shirts. How does it work becoming a member? Is it just a case of signing up to the newsletter, or is there a little special portal?
Well, the special portal is what we'll be beginning work on in the new year. At this stage, though, we work with our email list of customers and followers. So all of those people have the opportunity to vote on our designs today. And we get some of our dedicated customers and followers, will interact with us quite regularly. We've had people contributing. We had one person contribute, I would almost call it a manifesto of 20 pages of text just talking about the different designs and inspirations that they have. And it's just fabulous to get this feedback. And some of it is incredibly useful. Some of it we can't use, but that's the sort of collaboration we already have. It's not a terribly sophisticated platform. It's simply email going back and forth, and that's what we're aiming to really ramp up.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, it's great to have like on board and responsive feedback instantly. So it's something that you might want to think about making. And if you do have a design and it's kind of voted on by the community, do you have to have a certain amount of numbers and pre-sales in order for you to produce these? And are they limited editions as well, or limited prints?
Oh, okay. So a couple of questions. The first one, in terms of the voting numbers, we have had a few experiences where the absolute top contender when it came to votes did not sell at all. It just was absolutely horrible commercially,
Oh,
but everybody thought it was going to be great, so they voted for it. So now we do a little bit more of an acid test, and we tend to do a pre-order once we've confirmed that people actually want to buy the product. And we have quite a quick turnaround with our manufacturing base, so that's all very feasible. So that's sort of uh, the way we make sure that what our community is asking for is indeed what the market is willing to pay for, which is important. That's important from everything from efficiency and inventory control through to sustainability, because you don't want to have a whole lot of inventory sitting around and not getting sold. It's not good for business, nor is it good for the environment if you can't sell all your product.
yeah. And do you have like one eye on sustainability with what other brands might do, or do you? How else do you implement some sustainability pledges within the brand?
Sustainability is becoming a bigger and bigger criteria for people when they are looking at what to buy when it comes to fashion in particular, which has not got a great history when it comes to the environment or sustainability. We've started that process in a fairly simplistic way by ensuring our packaging is recycled and recyclable. We keep our garments plastic free, so you won't see a plastic sleeve on the shirt when it comes in its box or in its
Nice.
tube. We're now in the process. We have a new lead buyer joining us next week, actually. And one of her charters is going to be to expand our product range in conjunction with our supplier base. And the suppliers that we will expand to will all have an obligation to stick with the appropriate levels of sustainability criteria that apply to that particular garment. And of course, if you're doing a 100% cotton shirt, that has one level of sustainability criteria versus something that may be a poly blend, which starts to involve other aspects of sustainability. And then there are the dyes that go into the shirts. So we need to make sure those are done and created in an environmentally responsible way. And then right down to the reuse and what happens to a shirt when it no longer has a place on your rack. Some of our customers buy our products for an occasion and they may only wear it once or twice. So because these are unique designs and they all get retired after a certain point, they start to take on a value of their own because there is a level of uniqueness. And with that in mind, we're looking at now putting together a secondary market, or at least uniquely identifying every shirt so that they can be valued more appropriately on a secondary market, so that they're not going in the bin or not getting used.
There's got to be a Blake Mill exhibition somewhere. Like, I imagine some of these prints, especially the ones that everybody said, "Yeah, let's have that," and then didn't buy it. I mean, that must be like the main centerpiece in the Blake Mill Museum.
There is a level of art, and we actually do license some works of art that go onto our prints. So we work with the museum in Italy. We're licensing Botticelli painting that goes onto our Renaissance shirt. We work closely with the Lowry here in Manchester and have one of his works on one of our shirts. And those are quite good sellers, actually. So not everything is dead original. In terms of being created by Blake Mill or our design partners, but we're about expressiveness as well. So sometimes it's a matter of taking what's already a brilliant piece of art, a brilliant image, and making it available as something you can wear.
Do you ever come across any slight sensitivities when it comes to licensing? Like, for example, I'm very well versed in the world of James Bond when it comes to logos and not putting James Bond stuff on certain book covers, shall I say, and I'll just leave that there. But do you have anything where it's happened to you where you thought, oh, this is innocent enough, I can put this on the shirt. It's either an astronomer or a mathematician or a famous scientist, and then perhaps out of nowhere you've got one of them awful red letter days.
Well, we had one very recently, and I just referenced the Botticelli painting, which we were looking to do a press release on. And I was just in a workshop with my colleagues. I did a quick internet search and found that a big French fashion house was being sued by the Italian art museum for use of that exact same painting in some of their garments. And we had only produced this garment about a month before, and I was going, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So for some reason, this particular fashion label wasn't responding to the museum's requests, and as a result, legal action was being taken. So we reached right out to the museum, and within a couple of days, we had a royalty arrangement in place with them, and everything is fine. So we were told by our legal counsel that if the artist had been deceased for over 70 years, then you're generally free and clear to use that work. That is not always the case, and we learned that quite quickly. And fortunately, we were able to get everything sorted quickly, and no harm, no foul.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love these sort of lessons in life where you're learning the legal stuff along the way. And then by the end of it, you could almost become like a licensed lawyer yourself with all the homework that you put into it, right?
When you're a small company, you don't have a legal department or, all the various experts to hand to manage these things. So you sometimes have to learn along the way. But Fortunately, Steve and I are relatively experienced in a number of these things from a different industry. But
excuse me, sorry.
That's not my dog.
that's Roger. He's barking at his own shadow. Sorry about that, Roger.
It's a funny sounding cat, actually.
Yeah.
So in any case, we were able to get that button down, and it's all good.
Good relief. Well, I mean, so are we outside of the campaign? Or are we looking any further beyond the campaign at the moment? Plans for 2023? Any exhibitions? I know that I've seen you guys down at the one of the centres down in the Wembley Centre a couple of times back in the day.
Yeah, that was probably Pure down.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah.
Earl's Court area, actually. So we haven't been doing exhibitions. Obviously, the COVID outbreak kept everything quiet. In 2023, we're looking at all kinds of different options. We brought on earlier this year a head of marketing who's really been helping us shake up our branding and getting our message out there to a much wider audience. So, in fact, we were just having a conversation this afternoon about sort of looking at how we're going to budget for 2023 and what are the different ways we can start to make a larger audience aware of the Blake Mill brand, what we do, et cetera. And that will dovetail with the design collaboration outreach that we're planning for 2023 as well. So exhibitions may well be part of that. We haven't made any final decisions, but some of these things are going to be sort of a little bit of guerrilla warfare. We're just starting to do a lot more PR. And we have quite a strong emphasis on our influencer program, which has been very successful, some design collaborations, et cetera. So the world is a lot different now than it was 15, 20 years ago. So you've got to keep, and it changes literally every month. So You have to keep on top of the different channels to market. So yeah, keep your eye on this space, and we'll show up probably in some places you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, this space would be blakemill.co.uk, and I encourage everyone to have a look at the site and enjoy the designs, because I think there's something for everyone and all occasions as well. It's not just the party shirt or the holiday shirt. There's also the business shirts and things in between that you'll enjoy over there. Ken,
we like to say from the bar to the boardroom.
From the bar to the boardroom. That's much better. You see, that's why you get the big bucks over there.
Actually, from the boardroom to the bar. You don't actually want to go from the bar to the boardroom.
Well,
it's the other way around.
Depends what office you're in, but yeah.
Indeed.
Ken, you were going to tell me how you got from Chiswick to Manchester. Off air, we were talking about how you were a Chiswickite, and then before moving and migrating up to Manchester. So, what's the story there?
Well, I actually moved back to Canada, where I'm originally from, after living in Chiswick back in 2002, and then I started my business partner from that previous life when I lived in London, reached out to me back in, I guess it was 2017, when he had started to put together this business. And I invested and started working with him in 2017 from Canada. And then after a couple of years, decided it was time to double down. We saw the business starting to grow and moved to Manchester in mid 2019. And we've just really pushed hard on the business and we've moved our office. We were actually in a town called Bollington, south of Manchester, but we started out by actually manufacturing our own product. So everything was done in-house. We had our own equipment, our own seamstresses, our own warehousing. We were doing our own picking and packing. So we decided if we really wanted to scale this business and focus on the design side of the business, then we should start outsourcing to specialists who actually do the manufacturing at scale and do the warehousing and picking and packing at scale.
Right.
And we did that, and we moved our head office into Manchester, where it's turning out to just be a fantastic center for expertise in marketing and finance, advertising, design, fashion. So we're just flooded with expertise here, and it's been a fantastic move. So we're really happy to be based here in Manchester.
Wonderful. Well, the old Cottonopolis, the foundation for British fashion industry.
And in fact, our office is in Ancoats, right in the middle of the old cotton trade.
There you go. So you're in good hands over there. Ken, great to finally talk to you after I've known you a while. We've been back and forth back in the day, as we discussed offline. That would mean nothing to people listening to this, but it was good to finally catch up with you, and best of luck with the campaign. Peter. And again, blakemill.co.uk is a place people can go. And until next time.
Brilliant. All right, Peter, thanks very much.
You've been listening to the Menswear Style podcast. Be sure to head over to menswearstyle.co.uk for more menswear content, and email info@menswearstyle.co.uk if you would like to be a future guest on the show. Finally, please help support the show by leaving a review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Until next time.